Welcome back to the one and only Dish.
Welcome to Covered Dish, y'all. Yos.
It's Tuesday at 7, time for Lay Dish.
How are you, girl?
I'm doing pretty good. I have my little, it's almost time for Spooktober, so I put on like a very pointy nail. So I'm
Oh, I
feeling
love that.
like a dangerous woman, you know?
That is very dangerous in the queer community to have a pointy nail.
Yeah. But I'm still
Take out.
mom energy with my Diet Dr. Pepper.
Yes.
How are you doing
What are
tonight,
you
girl?
wearing? Show us. Give us the tour.
I thought tonight that I should flounce for you.
Ooh, flounce.
We're making flounce a verb. Actually, these are ruffles. I actually looked up what the difference between a ruffle and a flounce is. Do you know, girl?
I do not know. Wait.
Okay. Yes.
The flounce is the thing you have a dress and it kind of like comes down on the chest. Is that a
So
flounce?
a flounce is just a type of layer. It's the way you stitch a layer onto a garment.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so you have like the shell of the garment and then you have an extra layer sewn onto it so that it hangs. And both of them do this. You know, both of them do this. They're designed to do that. The difference between a ruffle and a flounce is when you so usually a flounce is it's like they're just puppets. This is ruffle and this is flounce.
Oh my God, Ruffle and Flounce. Why wasn't that the name of our show?
Ruffle and flounce, yeah. I'm ruffle.
Ruffle or Flounce. Make a choice.
Yeah, pick a lane, bisexuals.
We love bisexuals. Oh no, they're gonna cancel.
Don't cancel us. We're bi. No, I mean
I'm bi.
one of us is bi. Oh my gosh. That was funny. I went out to Easton with Felicia over the weekend and I posted about like the joke on the gram was like, you know, we're reviewing the application to our coven and someone asked like, do you accept non-binary people in your coven? And I was like, I hope so. I'm non-binary. And I didn't realize that my outfit was literally the non-binary flag colors. And I was like, I'm not subtle.
Oh my God.
I'm
Wow,
not
that's amazing. We love to see it. And now all of a sudden you accidentally created a coven. Okay, anyways. Back to Flounce v. Ruffle.
Okay.
That case is going to make it all the way to the Supreme Court, Queen. Tell us, and it's going to lose because it's all conservatives now.
Everyone
what is
loses.
the difference?
Everyone loses in Flounce.
Everybody loses. Women, ruffles, flounces, black people, everybody.
Black people, men,
immigrants.
Yeah, everyone.
American citizens.
Yeah.
Citizens, dogs, goldfish, steer's trunks.
Yeah, fashion.
Give me back. Get me back. Take me back.
Anyway, so when you flounce, okay, you usually cut something, it's a bias cut, so it's diagonal. And at the top, at the seam, it is a straight line. Versus a ruffle, so you can see this right here is the ruffle. You can see that it's gathered as you stitch it. So the ruffle effect is actually caused by the gathering at where you sew it.
So here at Covered Dish, we are unbiased, so we would be pro ruffle.
You know what? Cheers to that.
I'll drink Diet Dr. Pepper to that.
Queen in our midst.
Yes.
So I like to imagine I'm either an altar boy or a choir director. So take your pick. That's what this blouse is giving me.
A little bit of both. It's a little bit of both.
Yeah, sort of like Peter Pan and Wendy's nightgown, like a touch of innocence with maybe a bit of school marm, which frankly is
which is you. And I like that there is the edginess of the nail with it. Then. Yes, that's the shot. Yes, I love that. Okay, stand. Give us a stand. Have a stand.
Have a stand because it's Miss Galvin if you're nasty. So I like
yes,
I like
love
to like
it.
maintain
Oh, look at
hierarchy.
those pants.
So these pants are a little tight this week. These pants are.
I love those pants.
I really like a palazzo slack, and I think it kind of matches the flare on the bottom. Kind of matches the drama of the ruffles on top for me. So it's kind of like Maria von Trapp, after she really leaned into that Von Trapp family singers kind of thing, and she's like conducting the children.
I feel like this is serving me Baroness chill weekend vibes. Give yourself the Baroness. Don't limit yourself to Maria von Trapp. She isn't even a von Trapp half of the time. Yeah. Baroness for life. Team Baroness.
Do you have Maria von Trapp or Baroness von Flounce? What was her name? I don't remember.
Well, it is Von Flounce now. So
Von Flounce now, yeah. Get you a girl who can do both. And
get you a girl. You know, the Baroness really got the shaft. Can we talk about that real quick?
We can.
And we should.
Look
you
at
should sit down. I'm
delicate
just
hand
at your
clamps
ring.
class. No, I wanted to tell you what. Yeah, the ring is definitely very Baroness. But I wanted to show you one more thing, which was, girl, your challenge to me last week was juicy. And girl, that's what you get back here, girl. That's what you get. You get all the juice back here. Mm-hmm. We're not usually for thirst traps on this channel.
Wait. Turn back around. Turn back around.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight's dish, you're looking at it.
Oh, that's the other thing too. Is tonight's cover dish? This is it. This is all we got. I opened a can of Diet Dr. Pepper, and Brooke opened a bottle of wine. So that's the dish tonight.
Look, we had busy days. We're busy. We're modern women.
Women on the go.
Women on the go. Mm-hmm. I don't have time to fix my vacuum cleaner or make you dinner. I actually really do need to fix my vacuum cleaner.
I actually need to, because have you seen it around here? Just what do you think about that?
They're like flounce and ruffles, so they're just kind of always like this. Yes, I love it.
Well, they're very limp-wristed.
Yes, they're very flouncy.
Yeah, in my puppet show, everyone's gay.
Yes, in my puppet, and I'm gonna scream that in a fight. In my puppet show, everyone's gay. Oh,
who's surprised? Anyone? Please, someone tell me you're surprised.
Someone in the back. Cut and post.
Someone lie to me.
We are talking tonight about the morning after, specifically the politics of the morning after, monogamous or non-monogamous relationships. And we both have very specific feelings because we both move through relationships very differently.
We surely do. And this is a topic that can relate to, that I feel like everyone can relate to. Gay people, straight people, like, the morning after is a time-honored tradition, no matter whomst you are, if you are a person who likes to have sex. Which is, it's not everybody, I guess, so.
That's true, but you can, like, spend the night.
Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, you can spend the night.
I guess.
Morning after for sleepovers. Well, I packed my lunch for the next school day.
I would love that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? The way Florida is with their traffic, I really do need to start doing sleepovers. Because when I'm down in Miami, I'm just like, oh my God, this is so far.
Oh, yeah, morning after carpooling.
Oh my God, it's the worst. Anyways, so I do think there's a lot to navigate. I am a sucker for sticking around for coffee. I love a stick around for coffee. You know why though? It's because queer women love instant nostalgia. We love it.
Yeah.
We love reminiscing about, like, we love going to a happy hour and then going to dinner and reminiscing about how fun the happy hour was.
Oh my God. Yes, you've talked about this before.
It's real. And
remember these pictures from 2 hours ago?
Right. You're like, oh my God, look how young we were. You're like, it was literally 5:45. And it's so infuriating. But we do that. We do like a post-mortem. And I'll tell you what I've gotten from those conversations. First, one of my favorite coffee creamers, one morning after, I was like, what is this? This changed my life for 2 whole years. Shouts. You know what was it? It was a coconut milk creamer. Oh. So it was like, it looked like a coffee mate. And I was like, oh, I don't want that. And she's like, you do.
Right. Well, because you're doing paleo, or I assume that you were at the time.
Right. I probably was. I was probably doing some crazy, no carb, no bread, no fun diet or something. But anyways,
yeah.
It was so good. And like, I was like, can you send me a link to what it is? Like, I was so invested in this creamer. She was like, but the other thing I am prone to do, and just this is, I think, a value add, but not more than.
Give me the minutes. Give me the minutes from the meeting.
More than a few times I've been caught updating cover letters and resumes the morning after. But here's why. I'm just really passionate about people finding what they love to do and talking with them about it. And then all of a sudden they don't know how to format or to convert a word into a PDF, or they don't have Creative Suite. And here we are. I just don't know how I get here.
Yeah, they don't know what an executive summary is.
You gotta have a mission statement.
Yes.
You did last night. I went home with you. You had a mission statement.
Yeah, you're like, okay, the mission looks great. Let's move on to the vision. And they're like, oh God.
Oh no, they have no tactics to support the vision, by the way. Zero.
Yeah, no tactics, no objectives, no goals, and no strategies, frankly. And you're like, let's call the committee.
And a shitty car.
Yeah. You're like in bathrobes. You're like, let's call the committee and have them weigh in. Yeah, I think you and I, the level of intensity that you and I bring is probably very similar, but you're right. We operate in very different ways. For me, like, It's actually a wonder if we get to the morning after, because for me, it's like, if they came over, if you make it past the get out of my house phase, or like the, not just...
Which is a phase, which is a perilous phase.
Yes. I mean, and it's not literally kicking someone out, but you know that when you open the door and you're like, wow, it has been just a great time. And I'm tired. You know what I mean? That happens.
No. I will pause
frequently.
Here. There is no one better at kicking someone out of a house gracefully than Eileen Galvin, and that is a hill I will die on.
It's
breathtaking.
It's like, why do I suddenly feel like I failed a performance review?
Oh my god!
Well,
they just like called their mom and they're like,
much.
"Are you proud of me?" On the way out the door, like they really question it all.
Thank you so much for coming.
It was a pleasure. Like you have kicked so many drunk comedians out of our old house.
Yeah, crossing them up the stairs, and they're like doing this.
Yeah.
And then by the time they complete the 360, I've stopped on the staircase, and I'm just waiting for them to finish the
feather robe.
The turn
askew.
of my feather robe that I'm holding like this, and I'm just like, "Hello, Nathan." You know what I mean? Like whomever.
I also don't think there's a comedian in Columbus named Nathan, but just on the off chance there is now, that was a random name, and we do not want to violate any non-Nathans.
Yeah, you should have seen the slot machine going in my head as I was thinking about that, as I was saying it. It was like, boop, 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 Nathan. I don't think there's one of those.
Girl! Oh my god, that is hilarious! Yo!
I was like,
some,
don't say a real name. Don't say a real
comedian
name.
named Nathan.
Yeah.
Don't say their real names. Don't say their real names.
They're all named Cody. I'm like, don't say Cody. Don't say Cody.
No, odds aren't great. Odds aren't great.
Yeah.
Like, just statistically.
Yeah.
The number of Codys in stand-up comedy.
I had a Cody once. He's not watching. It's okay.
I don't think a woman who gave me the creamer advice.
Woman!
I just struggle with that. I struggle with that so much. It's a real miss. It's a real miss on my end. All right, so
I don't mind when women say girls. It's like, listen, yes, I know this is a double standard. Okay, manosphere. Not that they're watching either. I know it's a double standard, but like when women say girls, it's like, listen, we share this space and we hold this for each other, right? But when like, girl, I'm preaching to the choir. You know what I'm talking about. It's different.
No, I also know, and I recently was talking with someone about gender, and they called us females, and I was just like, ooh. Like, I don't care if you call us girls. I don't really. Chicks doesn't even bother me as much as females.
Yeah, females is like, you know.
Oh, when I bring like
everything
big
clenches
masculine, up. When I bring big masculine energy on stage, sometimes I say chick, and I'm just like Danny Zuko. Immediately, Danny Zuko. It's so weird.
Yeah, but I feel like when you bring masculine energy on stage and you say chicks, it's actually pretty hot, frankly.
Oh, well, thank you, girl. That is so nice. You know, it's interesting, and it's not the time for it, but you really do have to let all the sides of yourself out, and sometimes performance is the way to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about...
Who do you want to hear it from?
Tell me about you in the morning after. What are your disclosure rules? As we talk about this versus monogamy, non-monogamy. So my creamer situation, I was not with someone monogamously, so it was like, you know, and I was single. So I was just kind of like vibing, you know what I mean? And I could do whatever.
Yeah.
But it's a whole other can of worms if you have rules or boundaries. If you don't like the word rules, maybe you go boundaries with your current partner and you step out consensually and ethically.
Yeah.
What happens when you step back in?
Okay, well, that's fun. Just looking at my hands. So anyway, first of all, I haven't had a lot of these since moving in with my partner of 10 years. When we lived apart, this was more of a thing because we were open, but we had different schedules and different spaces, and now we share more space and more schedules.
Well, let's start with the first one.
Okay.
So even when you don't share space, you know, I do think there's a lot to be said about having the discussion about what does your primary partner want to do?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I'm not even sure that we know the answer to that question.
Oh, we absolutely don't.
No,
we surely do.
We surely do not, because sometimes you think you have an understanding, and then someone asks you a question that throws you for a loop, and then you're like, I didn't know that you wanted to know that level of specificity. And then when you give the honest answer, sometimes there are some gotchas, like, oh, that's not what I thought was happening, and it's like, okay, now we need to take some time and like go into this in some depth and figure it out, because we don't want what neither of us want is the resentments to come in because there was misunderstanding. And the most important thing is, like, I didn't intend to hurt you or surprise you or blindside you or any of those things, but I recognize now that that's what this must feel like. So I have to take responsibility for what that lack of communication, misstep in communication had, but also realize, like, this was not an intentional thing. It's not about blame or fault.
Right. And I do think sometimes people aren't aware, like they may be like, yeah, come home, tell me about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, oh God, like, you know what I mean? And we want to think we can handle it, right? Yeah. Like that is we want to be cool and we want to be supportive. And,
yeah,
you know, if we're not really into compersion and that's not something that really does it for us, we at the very least want to be supportive. And then you step on a landmine, not because you're oversharing, but because you didn't know. They didn't know either.
Yeah, that's the whole thing about landmines, right? Is they're buried and you can't see when they're right in front of you.
Oh yeah, that is the metaphor.
Yeah. I was gonna try to make something funny about like Princess Di, and I realized there's no way to make that funny. So that's not a good direction to go down.
And back.
And okay, and we'll fix that one in post.
Fix it in post.
Yeah. Yeah, you viewers of Covered Dish know there's no fixing in post of this. There's
no post.
We sell footage. So anyway, no, but I think the level of detail is like, hi, did you have a good time? Now I really am only seeing one other person. So there's a higher level of trust about things about like testing regularity and procedures. Because before it was like, oh, okay, well, if we're going to see multiple people, then we have to make sure we know when we're being tested, that we're communicating that to each other, just so that we're keeping each other safe.
And yourself. Your own health.
Mm-hmm. But to answer your question, so my sort of typical schedule with a morning after is it's very different depending on if you're hosting or what's the opposite of hosting?
Guesting. Also, I would like to point out, the morning after doesn't have to be the actual morning.
True.
So, do you when you need to do you, girl.
That's true. I was only thinking about morning situations. Because usually if I don't want to stay overnight, I just leave.
You don't.
I don't.
There's no like, well, I thought I should.
Yeah. Frequently, I think when I was young, like 18, 19, I would have a one night stand and then stay overnight. And then like after a couple of years, I was like, that's not the move. I don't want to do that at all. Because it's not even a trust thing. It's just an enjoyment thing. I'm like,
you sleep like shit.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know my environment. We don't know each other that well. I would rather just go home and sleep in my own bed.
Hold on, I have to steal a cheese stick from Penny. She's going to choke on it. Our lives are great.
Oh, no. I'm taking a Dr. Pepper break.
She's not going to die. We don't have to cut it in post. This is what's like owning a bulldog. You're like, they could just choke on a cheese stick and die. They're super fun. Get a bulldog. So after the situation, what is next?
What transpires? So I wake up, and if I am not in my own place, then I usually check out the bathroom situation. I might take a shower. Maybe we'll put my clothes on, or I usually bring a robe. So I'll just like put the... Girl, you know me. Of course I bring a robe.
Do you have like a car robe?
No, I don't just keep one on my car, but I stick one.
Maybe you should though.
But you need to have things. This is what being a performer will teach you. You need to have things that are compact and fold up. So you can't be bringing like the full on ostrich robe because you can't shove that into the bag. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. And then your ostrich feathers are sticking out at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Embarrassing.
Yeah. So say it with me, ladies. You need voile, gauze, or chiffon. You roll it up neatly into your little overnight bag, and then you just take it out in the morning, throw it over your shoulders, and open the balcony.
I want to go on your one night stands.
That's not the way it happens at all.
Balcony was just like the name of that guy's cat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh no, I was with this guy who's he had a little statuette of his pet cat that died, and it said cat and then years on it. He named his cat Cat. So I felt really safe.
Wait a minute. Okay. Did I ever tell you about the date I went on with the girl? Woman.
Believe women.
It was a blind date. And I wasn't drinking much at the time.
Yeah.
So someone set me up with someone in AA, and I was like, oh, great, blah, blah, blah. Turns out, no, they were in recovery for like hard drugs, like heroin, cocaine, like the big three. I don't know the big three. I'm
The
just
big
naming
three.
drugs. I don't know anything about drugs, but like recovering from extremely hard drugs, like which is a whole different ballgame than not drinking, right?
Yes.
And okay, so she takes me to her recovery house. And then I'm just hanging out with a bunch of these dudes who are recovering from heroin, who are like drinking Monster Energy drinks and like eating ice cream and sitting on the couch. So I sit down with them and I'm like, hi.
Drinking Monsters after heroin seems like jumping into the pool right after the hot tub. You know what I mean?
So anyways, so like all of this is fine and normal. And then she invites me to her room and she collects two things and two things only.
Please tell me one of them is Furbies. Okay, knives. Yeah.
And Precious Moments porcelain figure.
Oh, definitely a serial killer. Like, confirmed.
And we made out for a second, and then she walked me to my car, and then I got a text where she dumped me.
Did you say something mean about the Precious Moments figurines?
I mean, I absolutely made fun of them. She had shelves for the Precious Moments figurines and knives. But to be fair, she didn't mix them. So I feel like that's good.
They weren't like holding a knife, the Precious Moments figurine.
Those little eyeballs.
Yeah.
Like...
tiny, tiny knives. And then the eyes, you walk by and they're like...
Yeah, those Precious Moments were full of ashes from her former lovers. There's just no question about it. But it gave me like a real glimpse into dating in the queer scene in Buffalo, New York, which is when this happened, and that is why I left. Because she was like the only lesbian I knew, so the options were limited.
Yeah, yeah. I can definitely... That takes me back. That's another... options being limited, that's a whole nother dish entirely, but...
Okay, so
the high school theater
on.
Drama scene, yeah, that's the discussion.
Oh my god, yes! Tell us everything!
No.
Okay, so...
For another day.
Okay, for another day. We have to talk about it, though. Okay.
I can't.
Chiffon robe on, morning after.
Yeah, so I get up. If it's someone else's place, I will just go to the bathroom, take a nice shower, put on my little robe, and then whatever, because you got to be flexible because it's not your place, so you can't do anything that's kind of overstepping the line. You're kind of waiting for them to get up so you can set the tone. So I honestly say guesting is a little bit... It's complicated. It's a trade-off, right? Because on the one hand, you don't have to do all the hosting stuff. Like, you don't have to set the schedule or host or like figure out the food.
They don't do any of that.
No, they don't.
Even wipe down their bathroom sinks. Mm-hmm. They're all covered in those little hairs.
I would even say tops don't do that.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
See, I learned so much from you.
No, I'm just postulating that. I actually don't know if that's true because I've only been with male-identified people. What do you think about this statement?
I mean...
Have you been with some tops who are like, oh, if the top is a chef or like, someone who is really into hospitality, then maybe they're doing some of this stuff. I've been with like people who sell tractors. So that's, it's like, it's a little different.
I do feel like that's to know your audience. I will say, regardless of whether you were born and living the gender you identify as a male, or you recently started to identify as a male, your bathroom is trash. Trash. I don't know what happens on testosterone. Trash. It is gross. There's all those little hairs in the Irish Spring bar soap. That is not that bar soap is not made to go next to the sink to wash your hands. No. Irish Spring is not for that.
No.
And then it's all like congealed and gooey underneath it.
You can learn. I dare say too much. You can learn too much about somebody from their bathroom.
Yes. I would agree with that. And 100% of the non-binary folks I've been with, spotless bathrooms. So, we don't know. We're just constantly doing research.
When you can't use the bathroom out in the world, you value your bathroom a lot. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I love a...
This may be it.
Yeah, I love a spotless bathroom. Also, you gotta know what's important to you, right? Like, if you go in and you're like, oh, okay, all right, this is the bathroom. maybe I'm gonna stick it out. Maybe the Precious Moments figurines are a little too much for me. Like, everyone has that moment where it's
Girl,
like...
I stuck it out. We watched a vampire movie. I hate vampire movies. I hate them.
I thought you liked the Underworld series. Didn't we watch those together?
I do. Well, yeah, Kate Beckinsale. Everyone loves Kate Beckinsale. I don't like horror movies where it's like really, really bloody, like Thrasher vampire movies.
Okay, fair enough. How about you?
Oh,
You
it was
fucking
the
around with
one-
a Blade? Like Wesley
Tarant-
Snipes, hot vampire?
Blade is my edge because it's still pretty gory.
Pun
what
not
was
intended.
the one? Is it the Tarantino movie with Danny Trejo and Selma Hayek from like the late 80s, early 90s?
Quentin Tarantino.
Oh my God, readers
And
kind of
it's
below.
vampires?
Yeah, it was like, maybe it was it Tarantino? Oh my God.
I don't
Like,
remember
Death-
Tarantino doing vampires. I'd have to look that one up.
We're gonna have to look it up. Readers, we will look it up next week and let you know. It was like real Death Proof vibes. Anyways, we're off on a tangent on gore and horror, but
Yes.
would you expect anything less?
Frankly, no.
Frankly, no.
Frankly and surely.
Frankly.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God. This is just going to turn into us doing shadow puppets. This show.
Honestly, I feel like that's a really good direction for a cover dish to go. I don't think we should abandon it immediately.
Yeah, I don't think we should dismiss it out of hand.
Oh, yes!
There she is.
Get that Dr. Pepper. We love to see it.
Oh, so girl, if I'm hosting, you know, I'm like, I wanna, oh, how do you like your eggs? Because that's...
Oh my God. You're
that's-
probably making them like croissant. See, I'm stealing Penny's cheese again.
Well, you made me croissants, and listen, if you asked me to marry you, I would say I do to those Williams-Sonoma croissants. Those were effing delicious.
Oh, shouts to my sister. Those actually those change lives.
Yes.
They change lives.
They were amazing.
Yeah, they were really good.
But I don't go to lavish extents for now if it's somebody that if it's someone I've known for a long time and we have sort of a like friends with benefits. You know what I mean? I am a fan of friends with benefits, by which I mean someone you get close to, but you're like, we don't love each other, we just like to play video games and throw down, and then like, how do you like your eggs in the morning? You know what I mean? We care about each other, we're friends, but we have the sex. I enjoy that.
You couldn't live in China because China has just limited video game usage to 3 hours a week for children. So
That's true.
That would be fine because you're an adult and you're being with adults. So never mind. Anyways, just trying to bring in topical news. Didn't pan out talking about pedophiles. So anyways, let's change the topic. My jam was always getting up early the morning after, getting tossy, and then coming back and waking them up with breakfast.
Oh, so you like a breakfast in bed situation. That's so thoughtful.
I know.
You would just get them tossy?
Okay, yeah.
How many dates do you have to have? How many good dates do you have to have before you're like, yeah, they're getting tossy in the morning?
Oh, one if it's good. I mean, like, show up.
Girl, you look so
those
giving.
$11 breakfast croissants sandwiches are $11. But if it works out and she introduces you to all of her friends and she's like, bitch got me tossy the first morning after. They're like, oh, okay, fancy. Like, it's a very easy in.
I mean, you have a reputation to uphold. And frankly...
And it involves croissants.
The queer community is very small. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's very small, so word gets around like, did you get tossy? I don't think so.
Well, when I first started doing this, to be honest, I was in Buffalo, New York, and it was Tim Hortons. So you know we've upgraded it as my salary has increased. So is the breakfast to go orders. But you know what? When you're 19 and I'm picking you up some Timmy Ho's, which is what we call it in Buffalo,
Timmy
which
Ho's,
is very classy.
I love that.
Yeah, Timmy Ho's. If you get some Timmy Ho's, like no one's gonna say no to an everything bagel.
No,
like delicious.
No white person is gonna say no to an everything bagel.
Well, I was dating in Buffalo, so you know what that looks like.
Yeah.
Girl, this has been a Christmas delight. Any closing thoughts for our audience?
Be safe. Have someone. We've mentioned this before, but Brooke, you know our system is if we're going somewhere and if we're guesting, even if we're hosting, but it's a different text. But if we're guesting and we're going somewhere, someone needs to know where you are. So I text Brooke Cardis the address that I'm going to, followed by a coffin emoji, and that means if I go missing, this is where you should start looking for the body.
And I don't freak out at all.
Yeah, and it sounds funny, but listen, it's a scary word out there. So, queer people, use the buddy system.
Use the virtual buddy system always, and create the space and have friends like Eileen Galvin in your life who are non-judgmental when you text them.
Oh, fully. I mean, like, ask yourself, are my friends, like, can they hold my honesty and my truth and not, like, judge me? So that if you're thinking, like, should I tell them about this thing? It's like, maybe think about that.
I mean, if you can't tell them, are they your friend, you know?
Yeah. Girl, I didn't mean to end on such a serious note.
You have no friends. That's how we end.
Oh.
All right, well, this is Flouncy and what's her name? Frizzle?
Ruffle. Frizzle. Yeah. This has been the Magic School Bus. You can catch us every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Yeah.
And we'll be back next week, apparently with a lot of shoulder rolls. Oh, Eileen, I need to give you a thing.
Give me a thing. Make it sexy, Brooke. You know how I like it, baby.
All right, so with where we're headed in Halloween and the Matrix reboot, I'm gonna go Matrix.
Wait, I'm sorry. Can we back up for a second? There's a Matrix reboot?
Yeah, I thought there's a sequel coming out.
I am so excited. I
really think there is, but maybe it was a Twitter joke.
No,
Someone help me.
It's quite possible. I found out.
Yeah, Matrix 4.
Oh my god.
Yes, Matrix 4 Resurrections. It's arriving in theaters in HBO Max December 22nd, and now I'm just advertising for The Matrix.
And it's still directed by one of the Wachowski sisters.
Yeah, isn't it a trans allegory?
I have no idea.
They said it. They said it was a trans allegory.
And now I'm gonna have to go rewatch the series through a sort of queer lens. Which, girl, if you know me, you know I love to do that. But I think so. Some of the cast, like Trinity and Neo, well, Keanu and Carrie-Anne Moss are gonna be back in it. So
I mean, why wouldn't you? Like, why not? One of the most successful trilogies ever, and like, could Keanu Reeves be any more lovable?
Yeah. So, girl, I'm gonna put on my long leather trench and fly. And on that note...
Yes! I can't wait! Okay, so tune in, Matrix fans, and also just general Covered Dish fans, this Tuesday and every Tuesday at 7 p.m. for Covered Dish.
Is that the theme next? Is that the challenge next week, is Matrix?
Matrix.
Something to think about, dear viewers.
And you could really do anything. You could be a person watching The Matrix, so you just eat popcorn.
Yeah. Maybe I could just, like, put a grid over me.
So you know what I like about you? It's subtle. That's what I love about you.
Yeah, like...
You're like, what if I fucking decoupage a fucking grid for next week?
Yeah. You know we like a joke. So, all right, that's it for Covered Dish. But don't be sad. You'll see us next week for Ruffle and Flounce. Bye.
Bye, y'all.